All right. It's recording. What's your name?
Hiba Ahmed.
Okay. And this is for Professor Azeldine's Section 1 Introduction to the Modern Middle East class, where we're talking about growing up as a second-generation Muslim American. Okay? So, Heba, are your parents immigrants?
Yes, they are.
Where are they from?
Egypt.
Egypt?
They came here. My dad came here in 1985, and then my dad came here in 1985, and then he went back to Egypt, met my mom, they got married, and they came here in 1996, I think.
Okay. So what's it like growing up as a second-generation kid?
I guess there's like a pressure to succeed, even though my dad came here and he came here with nothing, but he ended up becoming really successful. He came here looking for any job. He even took a job as a chef, even though he doesn't really know how to cook. And then he ended up meeting up with an engineering firm, even though he only had his bachelor's from Egypt. And they paid for him to go to college and get his master's degree in a CUNY, and now he's the manager of Port Authority.
So what's your current major right now?
I'm a
biology major. Okay. Do your parents pressure you into pre-med?
No,
Yes? No?
No.
Or any certain career in general?
I guess they kind of like hinted at me going towards pre-med, but they always told me that the choice was always mine. So
Okay.
I didn't care what I did.
All right. So your father's an engineer. What does your mother do?
My mom has her bachelor's in architecture, but when she came to the States, she didn't really pursue a career. She just stayed as a housewife.
Okay. So, do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have 5 siblings.
5 siblings? Brother, sister, whatever?
I have 3 brothers and 2 sisters.
2 sisters. Do you feel that your parents are more protective of you as a girl than your brothers?
Yeah, I feel like that's the case with any like normal family. It's not just Muslim Americans or Egyptian Americans. They, just like being a female in today's society, definitely they want you to take precautions, even more so than my brothers.
What do those precautions include? Like, do you carry mace around or something?
Yeah, I actually do.
Really?
Yeah, ever since Trump was president-elect, my parents told me to, because they're afraid for my safety, but Rutgers doesn't really make me feel scared of anything.
What are your parents' views on dating?
So we're Muslim, so just in general, Muslims can't date. So it's not really what my parents' views are, what my views are, just because like I'm following my religion, I don't date generally.
Okay. Do you feel close to your parents? Do you feel that the culture your parents introduced you to, do you feel that it's an introduction, or do you treat it as your own?
Can you elaborate on that?
So, at what point did you decide that you were Muslim? Was it just that because you were raised Muslim that you'd be Muslim, or was there a specific point in time that you decided, yes, I am Muslim?
Okay, so when I was younger, I was actually I wasn't really that practicing, even though my parents took me to like the mosque and things like that. But then in middle school, I started taking Arabic and Quran classes, and that's when I started actually learning more about the religion. And I met my best friend. My best friend's mom was actually my teacher, and then my best friend's mom was my teacher, so I met my best friend through that, and then her family was already very religious, so they taught me my religion, and that's when I started becoming more practicing, and I ended up wearing the hijab. And yeah, so I guess before I wasn't really that practicing or into my culture, because going to like public school and seeing like how Americans acted, I was pressured to like act like them. But after seeing how beautiful my religion and my culture is, I actually started going towards that more.
Have you ever had culture clashes with your parents? So just differences in views, especially since you're a second generation?
Yeah, so something that usually, like, if my parents ask me, like, oh, Hiba, go do the dishes or go clean the house, I'm like, why don't you ask my brother to do it? Like, why do you ask me? But I guess that's just normal in every American household. It doesn't only happen in my house. And my parents do like tell my brothers to do other things that they won't tell me to do.
Are you the oldest sibling?
No, I'm the second oldest. I have an older brother.
Do you feel that you do anything different from your parents if you, when you say if you want to become a parent? Actually, that's the next question. Do you want to become a parent in the future?
Yes, I do.
Yes? Okay. So if you were raising kids, would you do anything different than what your parents would do?
So I guess since my parents were born in Egypt, they have like a very different view than Americans do. For example, like Americans here are a lot like very accepting, pro LGBT, things like that. Like interracial marriages, things like that is very normal in America, but in Egypt, like it's not really that accepting. So I guess I would teach my kids to be more accepting of, even though my parents do definitely teach me to be accepting towards other cultures, especially because of the racism that lots of Muslim Americans today see. I guess just teach my kids to be even more accepting than what my parents taught me. I mean, my parents aren't racist, I promise you, but...
Final question. Do you feel that there are any strong Muslim figures, and at least American media?
I guess Muhammad Ali, the boxer that died, Malcolm X,